Sitting here with promoter Cyril Lehong, back at the Boysons Hall, Uppercut promotions going well. You're involved in the Gauteng Boxing Promoters Association. Things are going well. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, it's been a lot of work, which is good. A lot of work means busy means it's a good thing in boxing.
Yeah. And obviously we're here today to announce your next tournament on Uppercut Promotions. When's the date for this tournament going ahead?
We're looking at the 10th of October. The 10th of October, it's a nice Sunday afternoon. Yes, and we're seeing the return of Simpiwe Konto.
Yeah, well, that's what we were supposed to see the last time, but unfortunately his Tanzanian opponents came in overweight. This time, we're looking at any Tanzanian opponents?
No. This time we are making sure. The last time, I'll take some of the blame. I think, it was the Tanzanian opponent was a late replacement, and I was so busy with so many other things that I allowed myself to get scammed a little bit. So yeah, I'll take some of the blame for that. But this time around, we are making sure that we are somebody who is going to make weight, and it's a good opponent.
There were rumors flying around that maybe Konko would be fighting a local opposition, but is he going to be fighting someone from outside the country?
He's such a good fighter that nobody in the country wants that fight. We've tried to get a South African opponent. Nobody wanted it.
You can't mention names, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, we're not going to mention names, but nobody wanted to fight Konko. We had to look outside the country, and yeah, that's it.
All right, so Simpiwe's opponent has not been confirmed yet. So I just want to get that on record as of today, Thursday.
As of today, not yet, no. But we've got names in mind, but we will make an official announcement soon.
All right, and then a fight that really interests me. I'm just going through the bill. For people at home that are just understanding what I'm doing, I'm going through the bill. We're announcing the tournament. Boyd Allen versus Jamie Webb. That's a pretty big fight. How did that happen?
I think both guys wanted it. Jamie Webb's manager reached out to me and he told me that's the fight they want, and I was excited. It practically landed on my lap. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited about that fight. It's a really good fight. I think Jamie Webb, he's coming off a loss, but some people believe he won the fight.
Yeah.
And Boyd Allen is an incredible fighter. We've all seen him. He's done great things in MMA, and then he's come into boxing and has done really well. So I'm looking forward to this. It's a fight I really am looking forward to.
As a promoter, I mean, you don't represent either guy, so you kind of do you sit on the fence and then just admire the show?
I'm a fan. For this one, I'm just a fan who's just admiring the show. Yeah.
All right, so the best man will win on the night. Next fights on the list, Hetta Volmerans makes a return two times on your tournament. So she debuted on your not debuted, but she was on your debut tournament, and now she's on your second tournament as well. What's happening with her?
With Hetta Volmerans, in my opinion, she's pound for pound the best female boxer in the country, in my opinion. She's and I don't think there's anybody in South Africa for her. We found a good opponent for her in Htetso from Zimbabwe, who's 5-1 with 4 knockouts. 4 knockouts and 5 wins, so she can bang. She can punch. You got 2 fighters who can really punch, and I think it's a really good fight, and I'm looking forward to that too.
Well, Hetta had 2 good fights against Colossa. Those were probably her 2 toughest fights. Do you expect the girl from Zimbabwe to bring in even hotter fights?
Yes, I think obviously I think Hetta's picked up a little more experience since then, and this fight is bringing something new, something different, and so it's going to be. I think she's going to test Hetta a bit more than she was tested in the last fight.
All right, and just moving on to the next one, someone that's the only official assigned person to your promotion, Talent Baloyi from Pretoria, originally from Limpopo. He's fighting Glamini from KZN. Talk us through this fight.
Obviously, Glamini will come out to prove a point. Talent Baloyi his name says it, but he's exceptional. He's strong. He works hard, and he's really got the goods. I watched him sparring just last week, and he's working hard. I see a bright future for him. I think he's a fighter who can potentially go all the way, and so I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes. And Glamini is not an easy opponent, so he's going to test him.
Is this talent? Is he the most exciting lightweight in South Africa coming up?
I might get shot if I say yes, but I think so. Yes, I think so. Although on the same bill, we've got Carleko Kanyesa. Yes, I think Helen is the most exciting lightweight in South Africa right now, and I just like to say, the ratings committee, the PSA, you really do need to add Helen onto the rankings.
All right, so that's a message there to the ratings committee, and I do agree with you. He's now 4-0.
Yes.
The last opponent he fought was a really good opponent as well. Let's move on to the next fight in the featherweight division. Someone that surprised you in your first tournament, and Sumillam Solo, you came through, and I mean, no one expected him to do what he did, because he had not had a knockout on his record, and yet he came and knocked out Gerard Titus, which was a highly touted boxer, southpaw, who had a bit of Javante Davis in him. He's fighting a guy, which you're going to have to pronounce for me, from the Eastern Cape.
The incredible thing about this fight, Mangala was supposed to fight Gerard Titus in our first tournament in May, but then he had issues with his licensing and the fight, and Itumeleng took the fight on 2.5 weeks notice. So now he's allowed a full training camp, and he's fighting a guy who would have fought in the first show. So it's a really it's a nice fight. I like the fight. And Itumeleng for me is a guy who took his chances. Life is all about taking your chances, and he took his chance in the last show, and he threw everybody away. Blew everybody away, and he was actually announced fighter of the night that night. So yeah. He's one to look out for as well.
Before the show happened, and I mean, you wouldn't have even maybe, I don't know if you knew who he was, but he stole the show that night. And is that the reason why he's coming back on your promotion? And did you ask him to wait and come fight on your bill again?
Yes. I spoke to his manager, and I told him that I really want him on the show, because he's done. He as you say, he stole the show, and I wanted to see him again, and I'm just glad that they agreed.
Do you obviously want him to win in this fight? Is that what you want to happen? Yeah.
Well, let's see how it goes. If he does well, we might have him on more shows. Let's see how it goes.
Right, and then moving on to the next fights. These are all three fights that you haven't promoted before. Fighters that you haven't promoted before. Kaden Truther, he's a super featherweight. He's exciting 3-0, and he's fighting Tibuso on the bill. 2 Gauteng fighters, 4-rounder. What was the thought behind putting this fight?
Kaden Truther, for me, I think is an exceptional talent. I think is another fighter who could potentially go all the way. I'd love to see how his career progresses. Obviously, he's not. It's not an easy opponent he's taking on. We don't want to make easy fights. He's going to be so. I want to see how it goes for him. Because he's a really exciting talent.
And how much do you know about Tibuso? Like, what is he bringing to this fight? Because obviously a lot of people would have seen Kaden Truther on super sport shows, on other shows. I mean, how much do you know about Tibuso?
Not a lot. I've got to give credit to the matchmaker AB Mnisi. I think that's probably the best matchmaker in the country. So, and he always puts on good fights. I mean, not just on our shows, but on other promoters' shows as well. So, he's somebody who really works hard on his craft. All
right, so this might be a fight to look out for on the night. I mean, all the fights are good fights, but I mean, we need to highlight a couple of them. Carleko Kanyesa, exciting fighter. He's 1-0. He's actually been calling for Talent Baloyi, and I know that you want to put the brakes on that. You want to make that fight potentially in the future, but for now, people can watch him on the undercard against Dwayne Detoy, who's also coming back for his own. These are 2 former gym stablemates, but they were both at Harold Fulbrecht at one stage, so they're going to get in the ring. What do you think about that fight?
Obviously they'll know each other quite well, having been stablemates before, but. Carleko is a talent. He's also a former amateur champion and former amateur star, just like Talent. And who knows? It is, as you say, maybe a fight that could happen in the future. let's see how they do. You know what I mean? You don't want to predict fights and overlook their current opponents.
Right.
But let's see how things go, because Dwayne Dutoit has got a point to prove himself. You know.
Yeah, he's also changed trainers as well as Dwayne Dutoit, so he's going to want to come out. They both have changed trainers. Carleko went to Colin, and Dwayne went to Mimo Spirito. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of maybe a good story behind that fight.
Yes, it is definitely guys who've probably sparred against each other before, but now what are the new trainers bringing to the table? Let's see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And then the first fight of the night, the last fight we'll be discussing, Ismael Khadri against Lucky Hobiane. Ismael Khadri from the Western Cape making his debut. Here he's moved up to Gauteng. What do you think about this fight?
Ismael Khadri, another amateur star. I look forward to see what he brings to the pro game. You know, I think he's excited. He's exciting. I know his trainer is very excited about him. So let's see what he brings.
And he's a new fresh blood to the featherweight division. Lucky Hobiane, I think, has had one fight so far, so he's been looking for an opportunity.
Yes, Lucky Hobiane is also. He's not an easy opponent. You know, and that's the one thing Eddie Mnisi really does well. He matches guys properly. You know, I mean, the crowd gets a good show. The fans will get a good show.
And one that's actually not on this list, but you did say is on this tournament as well, is Tariq Alali from Morocco. He's an exciting middleweight boxer, I believe.
Yes.
He's going to come and put on a show. What do you think about him and having him debut on the show?
An all African Games champion, middleweight. I think we are going to see exciting things from him. He's coming onto the show. And well, we're going to find an opponent for him very soon. He's amazing. He's an incredible talent. I mean, I think those who've seen videos of him should really go check him out. Google him. He's a star already.
Yeah.
As an amateur, he was a star. Now he's going to come into the pro ranks, and he's going to be a star.
I actually think he has more medals outside of Africa. I think he's got, but I don't want to say like which medals because I might just be inaccurate in that. But I do believe he's won some other medals outside of the continents as well. So in your whole show, so which is the fight that you are looking forward to the most? I'm putting you on the spot here.
I don't know. Like sometimes I think I think of one fight and I get excited, and I think but then there's this fight and then there's that fight. So I'm just looking forward to the whole show. I think it's a show that you don't want to miss. It's a show that you don't want to be late for. You know, you've got to watch every single fight on the show.
And I'm assuming broadcast details will be shared in the future?
Yes. We are working on something. Hopefully we'll make an announcement very soon.
All right, cool. That's basically it. Is there anything that you would like to say? I mean, obviously we're announcing the tournament show. Is there anything lastly that you'd like to say?
Well, the first tournament was a lot of work. I enjoyed it. This time around, I feel like we even going bigger and better. So yeah, everybody, 10th of October, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank you very much, and we're doing it again in the Boysons Boxing Hall.
Definitely. I think it's just becoming the new home of boxing. I think I'm loving it. You know. I love this venue.
All right. Thank you very much, Cyril. I appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you.